Is a CEO an entrepreneur? Short answer, no. Before you go run to put CEO inside of all your bios, let me pull back the curtain and show you which role actually makes you money and what is really tough. It's really challenging and hard. Let's dive in. I was on this interview and I looked at this guy's LinkedIn profile while he was interviewing me. And this LinkedIn profile, he basically had all these titles. He said, I'm the CEO, the president, founder, co-founder, VP, liaison, lexicon, Donkey Kong. I mean, all this stuff. He was all roles to all people. And I fell into that trap too when I first began. But in this video, what I'm going to show you is how most of those roles don't matter before you've hit $10 million. Let's go into the 3 roles. Role number 1. The entrepreneur, the blessed, romanticized, overinflated role of the entrepreneur. I don't know why our society has done that. We look at entrepreneurs as like, I don't know, there's even events where they like paint the entrepreneur with like wings, like they're this gift to humanity, like, barf, gag. No, there's a lot of broke entrepreneurs. It's because it's not the money role. So what is the actual purpose of the entrepreneur? The purpose of the entrepreneur has one function. This is my own definition here, okay? But there's one thing the entrepreneur is supposed to do, and that is to find a valuable problem and then provide a valuable solution. That's it. That's all we're gonna go do. So I could go do that in many ways. If I get to know my dream customer and I see what their issues are, their challenges are, their desires are, and then I just, I'll choose that product, or I'll choose that problem to build a whole product around. That's a great thing that an entrepreneur does. It's an amazing service. That's why I love entrepreneurs. But it's not the money role, okay? We can go and we can do this though, finding and solving a valuable problem. You could do that through a product. You could do that through a service. You could do that by buying and selling companies. You could do that on small stuff. You could do that on huge stuff. You're behaving as an entrepreneur when you do that, whenever you put a deal together. But you have to understand also that entrepreneurs are not the ones that make the money. Case in point, how many of you know someone who's attempted entrepreneurship? They have the product done, but they never made $1. It's because they don't have the second role. Role number 2, and the actual moneymaker, marketer. Marketers are the moneymakers. While the entrepreneur creates the product, it's the marketer's job to sell it and make attention and get noise and actually create conversions. Does that make sense? A lot of people never pick up the marketer hat, but it is the actual moneymaker. One of my favorite old-time stories was from P.T. Barnum, famous marketer. P.T. Barnum actually was the second millionaire in America, and he was the first person to ever bring an elephant to America. Well, his museum was actually in New York, and what he would do to get attention to his museum was he knew the trains that would pass his farm, bringing all the tourists into New York. And so all he did was he said, hey person, I want you to plow my field, my farm field, with the elephant that I just brought to America. Not the horse, not the ox. You're gonna plow a field with an elephant every time that train passes. And so there was nothing in the field. The only reason he did it is every time that train passed, he would plow the field with the elephant, and he continued doing it until 60 reporters had come to ask him about what he was doing and write stories about him. What do you think happened in turn? A lot of people on the trains went to his museum. The press came in and they said, hey, I can't believe this is amazing. Oh, by the way, he has a museum. Sales went up. Marketers are sales-based attention getters. That's what we do. That's what we do. And unless you learn that skill set, the entrepreneur is broke. Okay, so one role is massively overinflated in our society. I still don't get it. It's the marketer that makes the money and actually makes the magic, frankly. I had a teacher in college, because I was trying to figure out I'm not going to lie, man. When I was in college, I was like, marketers, that's like, I'm not going to go be a marketer. Like, that's the major everyone does when they don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, I made fun of it in my teacher's face. He was the CMO of Denny's and Pizza Hut and helped launch Star Wars Episode 1. Okay, massively successful marketer. And he ended up being one of my first one-on-one mentors. And he looked at me and he goes, Steven, you're going into finance? I was like, yeah, because I like spreadsheets and details like that. And he said, no, you're going to hate that. I said, why? He's like, your personality. So if you're trying to figure this out, he said, your personality likes to find problems. You're very creative. You need to go. I said, I just don't want to do the same thing every day. And he goes, then you should be a marketer. I said, well, what was it like when you were a marketer? He's like, well, you sit down every day and someone hands you a brand new problem and it's your job to solve it in a creative way that ends in a sale. That's a fun role. Marketer is the role that you should spend 80% of your time in. Most do the opposite. oh, I got to go back to the product. That's not why they're buying. That's not why they're not buying. They're not buying because you're not being a marketer, which is all about that sales-based attention getting. That skill set right there. Before I show you the role I hate the most, just terrible, subscribe. Hit the like button. I would actually love to know down below, what is the thing that you love to do the most in your business and hate the most? All right, I want to share with you what that is for me, but I want to know what that is for you down in the comments. Let's have a little gripe sesh. The third role, and the one I hate the most, CEO. I hate the role of CEO. CEO drives me nuts. I would so much rather be the CMO and be in marketing. CEO, I am just not built for, guys. Russell hates it the most also. He hates being the CEO of ClickFunnels. He's not anymore. And I hate being the CEO of my own company. And it's because of what comes with it. We also romanticize the CEO role. What is that role and its responsibilities? The CEO role is all about systems management and creation. I would rather be out there trying to get more sales and figure out what's working and making more, attention and, the elephant story, right? Like doing stuff like that. The CEO's job is systems management and building. What does that mean? They're the ones that are building the processes and tweaking and managing the processes around fulfillment, customer service, customer satisfaction. But it's not just customer-based stuff. That stuff is actually great for me. It's the other part of it that I don't like. Team management, project management, like HR stuff. I am not built for those things. I hate that stuff. And so this is the only role that I have ever found that you truly actually can outsource. But it sounds like, I'm an entrepreneur, which means I'm immediately a CEO. No, they're two different things. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a marketer, but not one or the other, or you want to do this but not that, that's actually totally fine. I actually treat these three in a process. First, I go through an entrepreneur, and then I become the marketer, and then once sales are in my pocket, I do CEO stuff. And now I'll tell you right now that after I've crossed the $10 million threshold, which is an important threshold, I don't actually do a lot of the CEO stuff still. Those are the things I'm outsourcing a lot. Those are the things I'm bringing in specific skill sets for. So don't feel like you have to be a CEO or get stuck with those things. I know a lot of you guys that follow me, you're like in the same boat. You're like, oh, I'd rather be a marketer. I hate that team management, project management side of it. I'm the same. And a lot of famous entrepreneurs are. You don't have to get stuck as the CEO as a burden, as a payment just to be in business. So one of the best ways you can use these three roles in your company is to realize that each of the roles has specific things that goes along with it. For example, we are coming up with a new product right now. So emotionally, and this might sound totally cheesy, I put on an entrepreneur hat. I'm like, I'm not a marketer yet. I'm not a CEO yet. I'm not going to build processes first, which is what college taught me. I'm not going to do that first. Let's go focus on the product. Let's go put together, and let's get in the creative zone. Let's be the entrepreneur. Let's try and be hyper creative and really amazing product solutioning. But when the product's done, I also am very careful to switch hats. And for me, there's actually a step in my process that I do that. Where I'm like, okay, I'm closing this door emotionally, and now it's a different energy to be a marketer. You're being loud, right? You're out there, you're getting attention. Rah! You're trying to get people to come into your sales funnels and see your products. That's a different mentality than an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, you can be secret, you can be quiet, you can be an introvert. Really hard to be. I'm an introvert actually. Okay, but it's really hard to have your business speak like an introvert and make a lot of money, right? So it's a completely different mentality, totally different skill set between entrepreneur and marketer. Then, when I'm done executing the marketing role, I actually go pick up, and it's cheesy again, but this is what I do. I'm like, I'm going to take off the marketer hat, and it's time for me to put on the CEO hat. And that's kind of how I do it. Otherwise, I don't change my own vibe and energy enough to do what that role is supposed to go do. If you're trying to figure out how to make that tender transition between entrepreneur and marketer, I got a free gift for you you're going to love. Go to offerlabpro.com. The link is in the description. And what you're going to get is there's 4 videos, just for opting in. They will send you 4 videos, 1 per day, that walk you through more about these different roles and the ones that actually, again, cause cash and more about how to actually apply them. You'll love it. It's free. Go to offerlabpro.com.